This is the EcoFlow Delta 2, and I've been using it for about a year now in my overlanding rig, which is a Jeep. And I know many people are wondering, is it a good power station instead of building out your own custom one? And will it do the job? And also, how does it compare to some of the other power stations that are out there on the market? I'm gonna talk about all of that in this video. And just to be clear, this video is not sponsored. They did not send this to me for free, but that would have been nice. Since I got into overlanding and camping in general, I've been looking for the perfect power station to power all of my devices. And to give you an idea of the type of things that I use this Delta 2 for, I basically will go away on overlanding trips for about a month at a time, sometimes weeks, sometimes even just a weekend. But even doing it for months at a time, I've still been loving having the Delta 2. And obviously it's not gonna last the entire time, but connecting it to solar panels and the mix between that, sometimes plug it into AC power and sometimes plug it into DC through the car. And those three things together make it a great solution on the road. And yes, I use this to power my refrigerator at all times. I keep it running and it's been fantastic at that. I never have to worry about. The only thing I do have to worry about is if it moves around in transit and it knocks the plug out of the socket. So I do have to check that. And I am looking for some kind of solution to kind of lock the 12 volt refrigerator cable, make sure that it stays in the socket at all times, because that is one of the problems that I have been having, is sometimes it will come out when driving on the road. And I feel like I'm a pretty good driver, although some would disagree. But aside from my refrigerator, I'll also use it to charge things like lights. I've used it for video lights on a recent shoot that I did, which was fantastic to have a battery on the shoot. I use it to charge my drone batteries, my camera batteries, and even my laptop, which does require quite a bit of power, but this thing is able to handle it. And I use it for my booster as well, which doesn't use that much power, but it's just another thing when you think about everything I power off of this. It's pretty incredible. Sometimes even my phone I'll put on here just because of how fast the fast chargers on the back are. Jumping into all the things that I love about this power station, one, it has so many different ports between AC ports. It's got a single DC port, but it has a bunch of USB ports. And like I was saying, charging cameras and things of that nature, laptops on the road, I bring a USB-C cable everywhere, and I like to have everything USB-C. That's why I recently got the iPhone 15, just so I could plug directly into the USB-C chargers, which are fast chargers. And to have so many of them really makes all the difference with this entire power station. Number two, the app is so intuitive and easy to use. And I love that it shows you exactly how much input power you're getting if you have solar, and it shows you your output as well in a really user-friendly type of way. And having that app is fantastic. I could be at the front of my car and not have to go all the way in the back to check the power at any particular point, which is quite nice. And even when this is in the Jeep, I'm able to connect to it from inside my place and check if I need to charge the batteries or anything like that. I've heard with other brands that their apps are riddled with glitches, and sometimes the systems are as well, but I haven't noticed that at all with EcoFlow. It's just a really clean setup, a really clean app, and I love the user interface. And I'm not just saying that, well, I have no other reason to say that other than actually believing it. Number three, and one of the most important reasons why I went with the Delta 2, is because of the battery chemistry that it uses as opposed to many of the other brands, is that this has a significantly longer life cycle, and other brands are around 1,000 to 80%. So there's already a significant difference. They say that this will last like 10 years before you're really getting down to those rates anyways. Now, that's one of the biggest reasons why I bought this one. And it's funny because when I was thinking about it in my head, I always end up selling these things and upgrading for a bigger one or something like that, or to the latest technology. So it's not like I'm probably not gonna have this for 10 years, but it's nice that I can, and obviously the battery will last much longer for that reason. The next thing is, shout out to the preppers out there. This thing can also be an EPS, an emergency power supply. So if your home were to lose electricity, or some of your electronics that you have plugged into it lose electricity, some kind of surge happens, you can have it kick in and turn on the power supply to make sure that everything stays running in case of an emergency or a power outage of things of that nature. I have one here that stays here all the time, that kicks on with my NAS, network attached storage, and some of my other devices in my home, because I just want to make sure that all those things are protected. But it's sweet that I have another solution. This is not just something that I bring camping, it also has a place at home. The next thing is these are completely expandable. The Delta 2 in particular has a port on the side here that you can connect their smart battery. You can also connect their smart generator and have the generator kick on if it gets down to a certain percentage so that it charges this battery. But the fact that I can expand this entire system in the future in case I add more electronics to my overlanding rig is a huge plus. The next thing is the 1800 watt output of this power station, which is insanely powerful. There are very few appliances that I would come by, if any, that I wouldn't be able to power with this. I've used it for power tools out on the go, and I used it for my blender as well, because I like taking my blender with me. Sometimes I'll be on top of a mountain, I'm thinking, hey, you know what would be nice? A banana protein smoothie. Next, the solar generating aspect of this power station is fantastic. It's got an XT60 input for solar panels. I didn't use EcoFlow's solar panels for this. I think they have portable solutions. I used to use a portable solar panel solution as well, but I found it kind of annoying to always have to take out the little thing, unfold it, and it's so much better now that I have Renogy solar panels on my rooftop, because I don't even have to think about taking out solar panels. It's just always charging, as long as there's sun, that is. But it's fantastic that it's a no-brainer sort of situation. I just leave it. Although the only thing is, it's kind of weird now that I park in the sun intentionally, whereas prior to having solar panels on my roof, I was trying to park in the shade to avoid all that heat. But you know, it's kind of one of those trade-offs. But with those solar panels and of course charging it before leaving for trips, I'm usually able to run my refrigerator for a few days in moderate climate temperatures. Another major advantage of the Delta 2 is the extreme charge, as they call it, and that just means that it charges insanely fast, which is fantastic for me because sometimes I'll be here on like a Friday and I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna go camping this weekend, and I'll pack the car and go pretty much, but that leaves me like a very short amount of time to charge the EcoFlow if it isn't charged already, and it's entirely fine because I plug it in and it's actually mind-blowing how fast it charges. Areas where the EcoFlow Delta 2 can improve on are kind of slim because, I'll just be honest, I don't have that many issues with this unit. And at its price point, it's kind of hard to find things with this many features, you know, the intuitive app and its capacity, so there's not a whole lot of competition in that space. With that said, here are a few of the issues that I have with it. One being that there's only one XT60i port that is for both solar input power and also DC charging. So if I'm on the road and let's say, you know, it's cloudy 1 second, or I have to switch to my DC power to charge the unit, then I have to physically unplug it and switch to the other plug, which, you know, doesn't sound like a major thing, but if there were two separate ports for charging each source, it would make a world of a difference. I also think 2 DC ports would be fantastic on this device, if that's even possible. And then lastly, this one's kind of nitpicky, but I think like foldable handles would be really helpful because not everybody is transporting these all the time. So to kind of save on space, especially in an overlanding rig where you're doing it for a long time, all that space matters. So if I was able to remove them, unscrew them, or even fold them, that would have been fantastic. EcoFlow did announce the Delta 2 Max recently, and that does have 2 XT60 ports, which, you know, I've been asking for, and it has a bigger capacity. So let me know if you think I should compare those in a video, because I'm definitely curious about getting one and maybe putting these two to the test. There's not major differences, but it definitely seems like it's worth the upgrade, so I'm considering it. If you're interested in more overlanding gear videos, camping gear, and just camping videos in general, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you always get notified when I post a video, because I have so many videos coming in the near future that I'm really excited about, between gear videos and camping videos. So a lot more to come. Like if you got anything out of this, and comment with any questions, and I'll see you guys out there on the road.
That is really good coffee.